And after the lull, this will make it hurt even more. Petrarca. 6.5 minutes left. Sneaks it in. The drought might be broken.
Yeah, look, every stat you look at, Jono, is just a domination, really. 427 disposals to 312. Clearances 43-29. Inside 50s, 52 to 40. Look, I mean, it's been after quarter time an absolute domination, and this has been the key. Just the lowering of the eyes, which meant that Melbourne have spread the ball around and shared the ball. That's why those numbers are so high.
It's been effective since quarter time by foot. They have got it right in terms of hitting up that lead up, and they've been effective with it. Then they've been able to maintain possession when needed as well, when their fatigue is set into their game.
Oh, clever tap. Gone to Hogan, and he blows it long. He's not there to mark it.
And that's one of the few times they've sort of launched it out of the centre bounce.
Stephen hands it up, but there is an eerie feeling here at this ground, as David King mentioned, with Reebok going off with that serious injury, and Saints fans knowing this one's just about cooked. All the hope, all the build-up of a positive summer for the Saints. Missed the 8 just by percentage last year. Hunt. And what a recruit this guy's been. Jordan Lewis.
I think Dwayne too. I mean, we do build up round one, and you're right. The Saints supporters will be a little bit disappointed today, but I think there's still a long way in the season. And the Saints showed last year what a very, very good side they can be.
Geary to the pocket and finds Billings. The tough part for the Saints is they've got a really, really tough game next week. They've got West Coast at the main stadium in Perth. Whereas for Demons fans, Carlton next week at the MCG. Inside 5 minutes. Billings sends it wide to the near side. Only a behind. But a long drought for Melbourne. I mentioned their drought against the Saints. The premiership drought since '64. And they've missed the finals for the past 10 seasons in a row. The worst run of any team in the comp, including the Gold Coast, who've never made finals. This would be a fantastic start for the Demons. Almost a silence, this game being played at the moment. Brown, Steele, Geary, Wright. Touch play on. Hogan knocks it down. Gilbert, and he find a pass target. Bruce has been pretty quiet, won't get it here. Dumped away from him. Melbourne with the numbers again. Gawn lending a hand. Had to flick it out. Membry, Hickey. Gawn flicked it out, and his own man got it. Goal line. And he did mark that, Gresham.
Yeah, he's been good, Gresham.
Yeah, he's been very good. He's shown some smarts today, and he's even then the little thing of marking it. It could have been outside the goal square, but he walked straight back into the goal square.
Yeah, they just haven't had enough good players, which goes without saying when you're 6 goals behind. It's not enough players that have played well. Kick in there from Hickey. That's what you're talking about, Jono, just smart. Oops,
so
mark down the goal square.
Yep, making sure that the umpire knows that and just lines himself up straight. Yeah, you look at Carlisle just hasn't been able today from quarter time onwards get things going. Robin had a brilliant start to the game, and then it's just faded a little bit. Hasn't been able to take 1 or 2 marks since quarter time.
I think Robertson's the story a bit, isn't it? Because we talked about the ball use. Robin had 9 at quarter time, Jono, and has had 9 for the rest of the game. That's about Melbourne's ball use, because they've taken him out of the game really, really nicely.
Hogan was clever there. He knew the boundary line was looming.
How do you handle this as a coach now? The best player this club's had for some time there. Looks like it's a serious knee injury. It may well be the season, Ruzi. How do you handle it as Alan Richardson walks back into that room? to confront his players who are going to be pretty down about life today.
Bulldogs handled it last year, Kingy.
Yeah.
I think King, you're right, because he would be thinking about that now. This does impact a youngish group. Rewald's been an absolute superstar again today. I think he's kicked 4 goals. So I think this is the art of coaching, is articulating to your players after the game. I think one thing he will do before he speaks to the players is check on Nick Rewald to see what that injury is, if they know exactly what it would be. And then I think he's going to formulate his talk around Nick Rewald, to be perfectly frank. Because they'll get up, don't worry. I'm not concerned about St Kilda. This has been a terrific performance from Melbourne, but you're right. This Nick Rewald thing is a big story.
Even the Melbourne fans don't even want to cheer at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's a funny old game now.
So much respect for Kingy. Said one of the greatest players for the Saints. He might actually be their best ever. In some people's eyes, I think he is. Vince Hunt.
But this has been the game here again, Dwayne. Just this switch of play, moving the Saints from side to side defensively, using the ball, lowering the eyes, and St Kilda just really haven't coped with it.
Got a good debut for Mitch Hannon.
Yeah, very impressive, Dwayne.
He was on the Bulldogs reserves list, in essence, in their VFL team. They didn't have space for him at the Premiers. Stretch. He's come from the VFL team for the Dogs and made a huge impact today, Mitch Hannon.
Well, he's had 15 and kicked 2. It's a good debut, Dwayne. You're right.
His forward pressure's been there as well, Kingy.
You reckon the cheer squad's not getting excited? The Demon fans are about to go crazy here. Been a long time coming, this one.
There was a while where they didn't know where this ground was, Kingy. Now, last year, Saints won both the contests and Melbourne had to play their home game against St Kilda here. Stretch to the near side. It's one of the reasons why this horrid record was extended. 24 of their last 25 at Etihad losses for Melbourne. Nick Rewald at least walking
he's
around.
Walking around, which is a good sign, isn't it?
Right. Hunt got in the way. They've got the overlap. Stephen. Membry. He's got Bruce as the runner. Pokes it over the top to Bruce. McDonald should get there first. Bruce tried to wrap him up. Ross had it dumped, backed into the turf. McDonald had it, lost it. Holding the ball. Didn't have a lot of prior, but he did drop it. 40 seconds left, and this will be a consolation prize. There's the cramp.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of, he's not the only one. There's a lot of players out there that are getting that severe calf cramp.
Yeah, they're big, apart from Nick Rewald, just haven't impacted on the game, have they? Bruce hasn't scored a goal at this stage.
Another very accurate kick. You saw his numbers, all grounds, this spot. And he does get himself a consolation with only seconds left in what's been a demolition job by Melbourne after they were 24 points down earlier in the game.
Yeah, and there's good tackle by Jetta, handball out, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 steps. I guess you've got enough time to get rid of that. To be fair to Bruce and Membry, the ball hasn't been coming down a million miles an hour, has it? It's been a good effort. There's Peter Jackson, Jeffrey Freeman, who's the director. They'd be very pleased. Well done to Simon Goodman. Benny Matthews will be happy too. He's been very good at the stoppages, Ben, and he'd be reminding Simon of that.
Well, he creates his own little bit of history, Simon Goodman, in his first game as an AFL coach. The drought's over. It's only round 1, but Melbourne could not have been more impressive.
Yeah, no, it was a good effort from the Demons. Saints started really, really well, Jono, and played that St Kilda style of football we sort of expected, and then really dropped off after quarter time. But to Melbourne's credit, they really lifted, and I thought the difference in the game was the work rate of the midfielders of Melbourne and also the ball use of Melbourne.
Melbourne have matured today because after quarter time they could have easily in past years just trailed out, not had a fight in this game. They fought it out, but they changed their style mid-game.